In about 90 minutes time, we will crown another SFL champion, the 24th champion to be exact. Welcome to Zolnir Championship Field in Baltimore, Maryland, the site of our next two championship games. Today, it's the defending champion, Mexico City Aztecs, and the first-time champion appearance team from out west, the Vancouver Legion, alongside Rochelle Colston, Ike McBride, and Ron Haynes in the stat truck. Charles Doherty right here beside me from VFN headquarters. I'm Cameron Irvine, and this is our first international game in SFL history in the championship, and it could not be a more exciting championship matchup the way these two match up.
I mean, we heard all through the pregame on how they're great. Both of these teams are great in all the statistical categories. One of the things that stands out to me, specific for Mexico City, is they are so good on the road, especially going into the likes of Baltimore and winning. They're coming in, at Vancouver's home tonight. It's going to be a big task, but I think Mexico City, has what's needed to win. But Vancouver, they're going to put their foot on the acceleration pedal, and I think this is going to be an exciting, high-scoring game.
The 10-4 Aztecs, the 11-3 Legion, the ball's on the tee. Kick it, we are underway. Thank you, K.O. Barrett Jr. As that ball, or Chaz Blackwater, I should say, and that is to Nick Lockett for Vancouver, returning it up to the 27-yard line, and that is where Christian Brown will begin the football game for the Vancouver offense.
Yeah, we started in the season, maybe like game 2, game 3. They started this high-octane offense, so we're going to see a lot of empty sets. We're going to see a lot of quick dropbacks, 90 dropbacks and slant routes. Let's see if they keep doing that tonight.
It's a beautiful 74-degree day here in Baltimore, sunny. We can't wait to be here in a couple of months for opening weekend, kickoff weekend. But we are here tonight for a big one, the championship. Who is going to win it? Vancouver, Christian Brown drops back to throw on the first play. He's got all kinds of time, fires over the middle of the field, incomplete. Looking for Brett Killian. The Vancouver starting offense includes Christian Brown, Ike McBride, Suter Nakai, and Mateo Privado in the backfield. The wide receivers, Nick Lockett, Brett Killian, Ezekiel Barron, Lili Nakai. The tight ends, Sharona Privado, John Michael Sudduth on the line. Gregory Winnell, Leo Chang, Rylan Caudell, Mango Moody, and Brunter Grayjam. 2nd and 10 off the incompletion from Brown, who was looking for Killian. Back to throw. Brown again. Wow. Finds Killian this time. Wow. Caught for a 12-yard pickup.
Just look at the pass protection that offensive line for Vancouver Legion was giving Christian Brown on this play. Both of these offensive lines are going to the All-Star game, and they show it right there. Plenty of time to go through the routes. And at the last second, we got some separation for Brett Killian and made the sexy one-handed catch for a first down.
Let us know how we're sounding out there, folks. We worked pretty hard on the audio coming into this game. It's not often that I have someone in studio with me, but hopefully it sounded great to you all at home. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line for Vancouver. This is Christian Brown again with time, finding Brett Killian to midfield. 3 passes, 3 targets to BK12, first down Vancouver.
Another good job by that offense, but Christian Brown, just those little steps, you don't see what impact it has, but what it does for him is it gives him better vision to where the open wide receiver is, and you see just at the last second, Brett Killian again gets separation. Coverage was good up until the last, second or two of that play, but you got to hold on the entire play.
First minute of the season 24 championship game, and Vancouver is coming out with a vengeance. Look at BK12. He's actually going to get motion into the backfield and then pick up a block, and this pass is actually no, it was BK12 again who was the intended target. He did a little okey-doke there. I lost him.
Yeah, definitely. That's what that Vancouver does. I mean, Mark Lopez, he's like the Elon Musk of the SFL, man. He figures out ways to throw new wrinkles, and that wrinkle particularly, he loves getting BK involved out of slots where he doesn't normally stand.
Now back in the backfield, 2nd down and 10 for Vancouver as Mexico City's got 6 in the box. They'll roll Christian Brown out to the left, and Brown will dump it off, and John Michael Sudduth dropped the pass. It'll set up our first 3rd down of the first quarter. The Mexico City defense includes Evan Miller, Suron Yates, the 4th, Chance Wall, and Dan Tritz. Linebackers, John Fowler, Qualzinho Leah, and John Osiris. The corners, Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, and Marikai Terra. The safeties, Hall of Famers, Jeffrey Daggs and Max Jackson, a combined 30 seasons of SFL experience, 15 apiece. 3rd down and 10. Brown dropping a throw. Brown rolls to his right, has to get rid of it. The pass down the field is incomplete. One-on-one coverage. It was tight down there, and Mexico City's defense comes up with a stop on their opening drive.
Yeah, that was textbook coverage by the secondary for Mexico City. There wasn't any open wide receiver. I mean, the offensive line did a good job to keep the quarterback clean and added some time there with a couple steps by the quarterback, but he didn't see anything and just wound up ending the drive. Great execution on defense for Mexico City.
The Aztecs will start deep in their own territory, as that was Jared Dumas on the potential return, only up to the 14-yard line. Here comes Jordan Sipe. Hey, he has been electric in the postseason.
He's been electric all season, but in particular, last couple games in the playoffs where it matters. I mean, he's not your prototypical quarterback. He's one of the shorter quarterbacks in the league, but man, he's got great vision, gets rid of the ball quickly, and he's just killing it.
Jordan Sipe had the fewest picks in the regular season with just 13. He's only had 2 in the last 2 games of Mexico City's playoff run. They'll start with a handoff to Ray Bentley, and he'll pick up 1. The rest of this Aztec offense includes Jacob Morrison in the backfield. The Hall of Famer Ray Bentley just got the carry. Buford Van Dam, the fullback, in the back. The wide receivers, Jason Bartley, Jonas Adobe, Noe Terrasas, and Jared Dumas. The tight end is Bill Henry. On the line, Ova Yanda, Setlamina Ocelotl, Greg Forrest, Tatalani Supremo, and Ogden Foundy. This is Sipe, the lefty, with his first pass of the day, and Bill Henry dragging Josh Farnsey across the first down marker.
That was a playoff catch there by Bill Henry. It looked like they were going to bring him down short of the first down, but once he caught that ball, great closing speed by Farnsey, but man, it was pure strength by Henry just to plod and push to that first down marker.
So both offenses have moved the sticks on their opening drive. Vancouver did it twice, and Mexico City has now done it once. From the 25-yard line, this is Sipe handing it off to Bentley up the middle, and that picks up 4 yards. You can kind of see early on the strategy maybe of the Aztecs, Charles, to slow this game down a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's a little chess match there. I think they're trying to see what Vancouver's going to give them. And one of the things that Vancouver's showing is the blocking up front is being successful against that defensive line, but the closing speed of those backs is just incredible. 9
in the box here for Vancouver, stacking against the run, up against an I formation. That's going to be Sipe with a quick pass. It is caught by Henry. Farnsey actually got the hit on Jordan Sipe, but the ball had just enough juice to get it to Bill.
Yeah, and Henry did a real short route across the middle, dragged across the middle of the field, and was just had to do kind of like a hook shot over the offensive line to get it to him, but he caught it. And again, another example of him making a yard after catch matter.
Sipe 4-man rush, and Noe Terrasas tried to get over there. So we've seen Brett Killian targeted a bunch on Vancouver's opening drive. Bill Henry targeted a bunch on Mexico City's opening drive.
Yeah, and that's but both of those are putting on textbook displays of great route running and that last second little burst to get the separation needed to make a completion.
3 receivers for Mexico City. Nickel look for Vancouver's defense as the crowd waits in anticipation. 10 on the play clock. This is Sipe, back to pass, 4-man rush again. That pass is incomplete, looking for Noe Terrasas near side. Emmanuel Blackman, who had the game-sealing pick against Washington, makes the critical play, 3rd and long for the Aztecs.
Yeah, good play by Blackman, but also got to give credit to that defensive line of Vancouver. They did a pinch stunt there, able to kind of force Sipe to get rid of that ball, maybe a little early.
3rd down and 10. Can Mexico City get out of the jam? Vancouver was unable to on their opening drive. There goes the speedy Jason Bartley in motion, last season's championship game MVP. Dropping back to throw, trying to set up a screen. He bailed on it, and the pass is incomplete. It looked like he was trying to get the ball to the outside, and Sipe lucky didn't take a sack. Vancouver gets off the field.
Again, another example, like you said, Cam, another example of that defensive line of the Legion putting pressure on. If you're going to go deep zone against Mexico City, you're putting a lot of pressure on your defensive line and confidence on them to be able to get past that stout offensive line for the Aztecs and disrupt the play, and we saw it up there.
If the first 2 drives are any indication, Charles, I think we're going to have a good game here today. There's a flag on the return by Nakai. I think this is going to be a block in the back, so Vancouver is going to be in some difficult field position. The flag's thrown at about the 20-yard line, and they're calling this clipping on Vancouver's, let's get a number.
Dennis Weathersby.
There you go. Dennis Weathersby, the backup corner. We might get a replay on it. Here we go. on Itera. He shoved him right in the back.
Wow, that was angry. You didn't like being beaten on that play.
You saw the Dags Droneworks blimp is out here.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. That's the beauty of sharing in the studio. You can point things like that out to me. Thank you.
He's currently mastering the controls right above
Look
our
at
play.
That. Oh.
Getting the aerial
Dags.
shot. Trying to get the signals maybe.
That's a nice tail.
Right. John Michael Sudduth goes in motion from right to left. He'll get set with 7 on the play clock. 1st and 10 of the 15. Both teams have been backed up inside the 20. After punts, that pass is incomplete. Jeffrey Daggs with the swat, 2nd and 10.
Short drop back and short routes by Vancouver, and just great coverage by the defensive secondary for Mexico City. Not a lot of options. That could have been disastrous.
2nd down for Christian Brown. He started just 2 for 7 for 22 yards. Brett Killian is the only one with a catch so far. He's got both in the ball game. 2nd and 10. Brown against a 4-man rush. All kinds of time. There's BK12. 1-man debate down to the 47-yard line. 1st down, Vancouver on the longest play of the game.
But we're going to see tonight. We're going to see a display by Killian, and we're going to see a display by Terrazas. They are experts at finding holes in the zone and making defenses. The word is defenses pay, and we saw it on that play. And his speed after catch, it seems like he puts it up to an extra gear.
5:55 to go in the first quarter. No score here from Baltimore, Maryland at Zollner Championship Field. The 24th SFL Championship game is scoreless thus far. Empty set here for Brown. Brown will dump it over the middle. That is incomplete. Looking for Ike McBride. Still no runs from Vancouver here in the early going. 2nd down.
Yep, Ike has not caught a ball in the playoffs. I mean, in the regular season, she's been targeted a lot. She's been targeted and had some pretty good success. But both of these backs between McBride and Bravado are very dangerous when they catch the ball. They average double digits.
2nd and 10, Brown. All kinds of time. Brown to Nick Lockett. First receiver not named Brett Killian with a catch. Lockett makes the play, but this offensive line for Vancouver, an all-star line, by the way, stellar.
Yeah, definitely stellar. Plenty of time. And that is a tough catch there by Lockett going up against, that was Itera? Was that? No, it wasn't Itera.
Jackson.
It was Jackson. Jackson, the best strong safety in the league, was just standing there waiting to drop some lumber on him, and he was able to stand in and bring it in for a completion and a 1st down.
Nick Lockett, all-time 4,292 yards as Christian Brown takes off and runs all the way down to the 20 to get Vancouver into the red zone.
That's a little dipsy-do action we saw out of Brown on that run. Normally you just see him run straight and either slide or just, dive forward, but he did a little juke at the end of that and added, maybe a yard, maybe 2.
With Brett Killian's last catch, he has eclipsed 19,000 career yards. Him and DR Sim, the only 2 to ever do it. So congrats to Killian on the milestone. Now this is Brown from the 20. This time Sudduth makes the catch. A 6-yard gain to bring up 2nd down and 4. And Brown, who started 2 for 7, is now 4 of his last 5.
That's great. And you got to get the tight end out there. Sudduth is out on a lot of those plays, running those routes in that empty set. And you have to have a reliable short to mid-range. So that's a good sign there, catching that one, getting 6.
2nd and 4, 4:20 to go. This has been the most productive drive by either team so far in the game. Vancouver adapting to what Mexico City is showing them. Handoff this time to Ike McBride up the middle. Got the 1st down. Vancouver very creative with their backs. A lot of times McBride will be in that fullback spot. Bravado will be in that running back spot.
I think that was the first run of the game, my friend.
Well, besides Brown's scramble.
Brown, of a running back or a fullback, and that was a big one. Nice power run. Ike McBride is showing what she can do.
1st and goal, 8.5. Toss to Bravado, and John Fowler is there. But John Osiris blew the play up in the backfield. Excellent run defense there from the Aztecs. 2nd and goal.
And that's a staple for Vancouver Legion is, that run up the middle from fullback and the pitch out. But, when you do that against the Aztecs, they've got such great closing speed, so you got to be quick.
Another heavy set here. Looks like it's McBride at the fullback spot. BK12 is going out to the far wing, and then I think that might be Lockett in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to McBride, and Ike McBride will only get 1. Third down and goal, Jeffrey Daggs comes up with the stop.
I'm going to be curious to see what they run out of this. The majority of the plays I've seen tonight, with that the exception of that one incompletion, have been long routes by the wide receivers. We've seen the shotgun here. Haven't seen that yet tonight.
Vancouver scores 2.5 red zone touchdowns a game. That is second best in the SFL. Lili Nakai goes in motion. Third down and goal. Brown out of the shotgun. Dime look for the Aztec defense. They bring 4. Brown's in a little bit of trouble. That pass is caught by Lockett, but he's short of the goal line. Max Jackson saves the touchdown inside the 2.
Yeah, that was a great play by that strong safety. Jackson hit him right before. It looked like he was going to be able to power in, but the strength of Jackson just shined on that one and kept them from the end zone.
Chance to win, an 18-yard field goal. It would be the 186th made kick of his career. He's top 10 all time. That chip shot is good. We have our first points of the championship game. An 11-play, 86-yard, 4-minute and 5-second drive gives Vancouver a 3-0 advantage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that they weren't able to punch it in, but they're walking away with 3, and now we got to see how Mexico City responds on offense. So far, I think the defenses, as they're getting closer to the red zone, are starting to kind of dig in a little bit and show what they're worth.
The two teams have kind of mimicked each other at the start of this ball game, but Vancouver, the only one able to get some points out of it. This is going to be Jacob Morrison on the return, 25-30. Morrison got a block, 40, trying to hit the corner. Morrison is tackled by Chance to win, the kicker, who got 3 points on the field goal and saved a touchdown on the kickoff.
Well, his leg was warmed up, so he was able to go from 0 to 10 pretty quickly. Was able to run him down and keep him from getting any more yards. I mean, that's hustle. When you see your kicker doing that and more, so if you're tackled by the kicker, you're going to get some grief on the sidelines.
Yeah, there's nothing worse as a kick returner than being tackled by the kicker. That's a tough one to go back to the sidelines with.
Yes, sir.
First and 10 at midfield for Mexico City. Excellent field position, the best starting field position of either team today. With 2:12 to go in the first quarter, Vancouver protects a 3-0 lead. They'll toss it to Bentley, whose block could not hold. That was Honus Adobe trying to hold that block, and Michael Lister makes the play. This Vancouver Legion defense includes Bobo Caudell, Achilles Papatonis, Gerald Giudice, and Michael Ruri on the line. The linebackers Josh Farnsey, DJ Woods, and Marquise Reed. Corners Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, and Ron Hoff. Safeties Jack Russell, Drew Hamilton, and Mark Lopez. Dumas goes in motion for the Aztecs. 2nd and 8, sight back to pass. That is complete, a 6-yard gain over to Bartley. His first reception of the day, 3rd and 2.
The good news is they've got an offensive line here that's playing very solidly. Both offensive lines are tonight. Let's see if they try to run it on this one. I mean, it's perfectly reasonable, especially with their running game, to run it up the middle and get that 2 yards they need.
Andy Hamilton in the chat saying chance to win progress tackle this season, so he's been all over. Jordan Stark is never get there. Only got a yard. Jack Russell comes in to blow the play up, and now decision time for the Aztecs.
I thought he was going to get that. That was a quick reaction there by Jack Russell to wrap him up and keep him from getting any more yardage. Great stand.
Mexico City will have to punt. That is a clutch stop by the Vancouver defense early on in this game. And this skied kick is going to go out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So the second consecutive drive for Vancouver starting inside the 20-yard line. We may look back at that play as being the play of the first half.
Yeah, and it started out on fire with that kick return. And the defense came out and said, hey, we're gonna settle in and we're going to keep them from advancing, and they did what they needed to do.
First down at the 17-yard line. Brown will drop to throw. And Christian Brown again with a lot of time in the pocket hits John Michael Sutton to pick up 12. This is the 4th all-time meeting in the playoffs between Vancouver and Mexico City. This rivalry in the SFL that often has spanned across divisions has been dominated by the Aztecs in the postseason. It's 7-5 all-time Mexico City, but the Aztecs are 3-0 in the playoffs against the Legion.
Yeah, the Mexico City, they take it to a next level. But the good news for Vancouver is when you've got your tight end being that wide open, every time he's been targeted tonight, I haven't seen a defender around him.
He's been schemed well. This is Nakai going in motion. First down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Christian Brown dropping to throw. Max Jackson came on a blitz. It was picked up. There is a flag in the secondary. I think there's going to be a PI called on Mexico City. We'll get another look at it. Penalty is called on Yolia. Got him.
Oh, yeah. He hit BK12 head on.
Impeded the route. That was an easy call.
One. Yeah, definitely.
We've had 2 penalties that were easy calls today. The officials, especially in this league, like the easy ones because sometimes when it gets a little too difficult.
It's always a good sign when they're crisp penalty calling tonight in this championship game.
3 receivers. They're going to actually send Lockett
controversy
all the way over. We definitely no. I'm the last person.
Or controversy either. We don't want either of those.
First down and 10. Lockett in motion. This is Brown again with all kinds of time. Picked off by Max Jackson down to the 39-yard line. The first turnover of the game.
I mean, when Christian Brown throws those interceptions, you normally have a linebacker or a safety just standing in that zone coverage, waiting to pick it up. 2 steps back, soft coverage, just brought it in and just made him pay. I can tell you that Brown didn't see him.
I wonder if Sudduth, it looked like Sudduth stopped on his route and then almost tried to break away, and Christian Brown goes, "Why'd you leave? I was going to throw it to you." And Jackson was just standing there.
Now this is a big test for the Vancouver defense. See if they can slow him down. They did on the last series.
What an interception for Max Jackson, his 109th interception all time. That's a 5-yard run from Ray Bentley, and that ends the first quarter of play. Wow, what a first quarter it was. Mexico City, nothing. Vancouver, 3. But it is Mexico City with the football after the turnover. You're watching the SFL championship game right here on VFN. Aerial coverage of today's game is brought to you by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. I can see the Hyatt in the shot, my friend. We will be there soon.
I'm on the rooftop, right?
It's on the rooftop, pool, 3-on-3 basketball tournament, flag football. We got opening weekend, kickoff. It's going to be electric, and we can't wait to see everybody there.
Fun time. You got to get there.
Hopefully we'll have our widescreen patch ready to go so we can see more of the field. And I'm telling you guys, it looks really good. It makes the game look 4 years newer, I can tell you that. 2nd down and 5 as we start the second quarter. This is Jordan Sipe, and everybody blitzed, and Louis Terrasas gets the one-handed catch and glides into the end. Whoa, no!
What was that? I have never seen that before.
That's the first time in years I have seen a player taunt an opposing team, and he didn't get in, and Vancouver's probably saying, serves you right after we sent the all-blitz. He held the ball out. He never got in the end zone.
I am speechless. I know I'm supposed to say something there. I've never seen that before. That is unbelievable.
It was almost as if he thought he scored because he held the ball. He never crossed the goal line.
Wow.
So now it's 1st and goal at the 2. Jordan Sipe is going to take it himself. Touchdown, Aztecs. They take a 4-point lead.
That was great recovery there by Mexico City after that. I mean, they could have you've been out of kilter there, but they, credit to the quarterback for Mexico City, Sipe. He got everybody in the huddle and said, "We're going to do this. Just block for me. I'll get it done." And he showed it. I mean, maybe the leap while he was 5 yards in the end zone, maybe uncalled for, but he got 6 points nonetheless.
And for those in the chat, it's one of those AI things that I have to explain ad nauseum, like every 2 weeks or whatever, Charles. But sometimes the game has little quirks, and you got to try to adjust. And you got to try to not make it happen. But it's something that. I feel like sometimes it's within the team's control. Sometimes it's not. You just got to keep playing and not get too down about it.
And I feel like I need to Google ad nauseum. Maybe on a break you can spell it for me.
I think it's on the back of the instructions of those Tums that we were plowing through earlier today after a great lunch. They served us well here in Baltimore as Lili Nakai takes the return up to the 22-yard line. So 7-3, Mexico City has the 4-point advantage, and they got in on the Jordan Sipe touchdown run. These are your first quarter numbers. Vancouver so far winning the battle in that game, but that interception was key, and now they've got to respond.
And that was I could say that was a poor play call going all blitz against a team like Mexico City. Sipe is going to read that. I said he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league at reading looks, and he made him pay for it. Hopefully we don't ever see that again on the field.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line, 9:26 to go in the first half, 7-3 Aztecs. in the biggest game of the season. Looks like man coverage out of Mexico City. Christian Brown will drop the throw against a little bit of pressure, but Brett Killian makes the catch in traffic to the 37-yard line.
I mean, Brown's unfazed. He throws an interception. He's still got his foot on the pedal. You know what I mean? He's going to go back there in that empty set, and he's going to throw it 15 yards down into a bread box.
And we were talking a little earlier about Vancouver's interceptions and the, very analytical team. They say, look, we might make some turnovers, but we're going to get some big plays to go our way as well.
Oh, definitely. They're not afraid to be aggressive.
9 minutes to go in the first half. Is in trouble. First sack of the day. Max Jackson, who we've seen a couple of times come off the side on a blitz. Jackson with the sack. Second and long coming up.
That's his fourth sack of the season for Max Jackson. They don't send their safeties in very often for blitz, but when you send Jackson in, he's been there before, and he shows how successful he is. He just powered around that corner, showed his speed, and was able to bring down Brown.
Jackson's 10th all-time sack. He's the 6th player on his team with at least 10 sacks in his career. That's Lily Nakai with her first catch of the day on her second target, first down, Legion.
Talk about an accurate pass, and talk about, again, a quarterback that's unfazed. Just gets right back up and wings it down the field in between two defenders into the open arms of Nakai.
Early stages of the second quarter, your just general thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Well, I mean, I'm still trying to catch my breath on that on that wonky play where he ran out of the end zone. But, I mean, I think the defenses are playing well, and the offensive lines are just, showing why they're all-star on both sides.
Killian's 6th reception, now over 75 yards. That picks up 6 down to the Mexico City 42-yard line, 77 yards for BK officially right now. You can see Ike McBride and Lockett back in the backfield. Could be a McBride run here.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
With Sudduth off to the left side, there is Ike McBride up the gut. Ike McBride's got a first down to the 36-yard line so far. It's McBride 12 yards on 3 carries.
And McBride's the epitome of power back. I mean, they got between Bravado and McBride. You're trying to defend that all day. At the end of the game, you're sitting in an ice bath with bruises all over your body because they like to lower the shoulder pads and knock you on your keister.
It takes a village to run this league, and special thanks to Mike Daggs, who updated the logos on the wall of the championship and the end zones here today, as Brown's pass is incomplete, looking for Nakai at the bottom of the screen, Itera in coverage. We had Ron Haynes with Haynes Vision, all season long. We've got 3 of our best statisticians in the truck today, giving us all the numbers and the milestones and feeding us everything. And then, of course, we've got, all the notes in front of us as well. And Charles comes prepared, just like all of our broadcasters do. So just a huge shout out to everybody that contributes on each and every broadcast as Tyler Falk and Mike St. Green stand by for halftime. They're going to be talking a lot about this guy from the first half. It's 3rd and 5, BK 12, another catch.
Yeah, I mean, I said Terrasas, haven't heard a lot from him today, but BK is just making an impact on the field, and it's almost every play that looks like they target him.
Well, right now, Terrasas is only going to be known for that celebration that went awry, unless he can turn things around.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
3rd and 5, Brown on the rollout, incomplete. The pass was a little behind Nakai as she reached out for it. In field goal range are the Legions, so they're probably going to take the points here.
Yeah, this is playoff time. If it touches your hands, you got to bring it in. So there's really no excuse on that one.
47-yard attempt coming up for a chance to win. His longest this season in the regular season was 49. This is to win, and it's drifting off the post.
Joinked.
Chance to win, misses on his first field goal attempt of the season. Stoink.
Over 50.
No, he was 28 of 28. In the regular
you said
season.
First miss. Okay,
It's only his 9th miss of his career. Unbelievable. To win in the playoffs, by the way, was 3 for 3. I mean, that guy's automatic. Shocking result there.
It was close, but no cigar.
1st and 10 of the 37. Snipe is decked. Sacked by Bobo Caudell for a loss of 6.
That's just a display of pure power, and that's saying a lot going against the tackles for Mexico City. just right up the middle, and actually the guard, Forrest, had a shot at him, and alligator armed him.
Sipe did have a little bit of a problem taking sacks this season. He had 21 this season, which was bottom half in the SFL, but had only been sacked once in 2 playoff games, as that one in double coverage for Adobe is incomplete. Jordan Sipe getting a little desperate there, 3rd down and long.
I mean, he might still be feeling the smarts when that 390-pound defensive tackle.
390?
No, I mean, I'm winging it, man.
I was going to say, somebody broke a rule. 390.
It's 350. I'm just checking to see if you're listening. That leaves a mark when they fall on top of you.
3rd down and 16 for Sipe. Longest 3rd down of the game for the Aztecs. They are 0 for 2 on 3rd downs. Vancouver's 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Sipe dropping back deep against some pressure. Fires down the field. That pass is way overthrown. Both teams' 3rd down defense has been outstanding, and the Aztecs will have to punt it away.
You put the faith on the downfield coverage. They're going to put some pressure on the quarterback. They have to put pressure on Sipe, but you're leaving your defensive backs on an island, and in that play, they executed perfectly. There wasn't a man open.
Sipe 4 for 8 for 55 yards. Christian Brown 11 for 20, 146 and a pick. BK Solberg is your leader in yards with 80 in the game out of the skill positions. In the backfield, it's McBride and Ray Bentley, each with 12 yards. Haven't seen a ton of running by either team. Both teams have passed more than they've run.
Yeah, a lot of passing tonight. And I think you got to give credit to the defense of Vancouver on that one for, after that missed field goal, it's easy to let the momentum swing on you. The momentum's pretty in the middle, but swing to the other way if you don't respond to it. And they did, stopping them in their tracks and getting the ball back in the offense's hands.
These teams met just a month and a half ago, and Mexico City put up 30 on the Legion, so this defense much improved. Christian Brown has to get rid of it and throws a pick.
Oh, wow.
Intercepted. That is Gerard Brody down the sideline. Nakai saved the touchdown all the way to the Vancouver 27-yard line. The 8th-season veteran Brody with the interception.
And that was just case of thought he saw the wide receiver lock it open and just didn't give the most accurate pass. Looks like it was a little behind.
And a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he had him, but it was a very complicated, route tree out of Lockett, and I don't think Brown had enough time to let it develop. 5:50 to go in the first half. That's 2 first-half interceptions for Christian Brown. Mexico City back in business, up 4. They toss it out to Bentley. He cannot get away as Farnsey cleans up the play in the backfield.
That was a big, big play by Farnsey to run up I think he ran up the A-gap and was able to close that down. It's just, again, I've said how fast these linebackers are on both sides, and Farnsey just put it on display on that play.
Farnsey this season an all-star, 83 tackles. He led the team in tackles, 23 TFLs. That's 6th best in the SFL. 2nd down and 11. Handoff Morrison, and Morrison will pick up a couple. 3rd and 8 coming up. Again, Aztecs are 0 for on 3rd down.
Yeah, I would just, don't try and roll the dice too much on this one. You're in field goal range here, so you get some points on the board and make it more difficult for Vancouver.
It'd be a 42-yard field goal from here, under 5 to go in the first half. 4 wide receivers for Sipe. 3rd and 8. Jordan Sipe all day to throw into the end zone. Touchdown! That is Honus Adobe with the score. Adobe with just 14 career touchdowns, and he's got 1 in the championship game.
I don't know if that was a missed coverage or what, but it looks like when he was catching that ball, it looked like the read was to close in on the line when he should have gone back in coverage and left him wide open to catch it on the 5-yard line, and then it was just up to the safety to try and do something, but by then it was too late.
Sipe now 5 of 10 and has a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. And Vancouver has moved the ball well, but a successful field goal and then a missed field goal is really the difference here. That was a quick 3-play, 26-yard drive. It took less than a minute, and points off turnovers the Aztecs deliver.
And that's how you win playoff games, and that's how you win championships, is making your opponent pay when they make a mistake. And so far, it looks like Vancouver's making the mistakes, and Mexico's doing the scoring.
14-3 Aztecs, a lot of football left. Here comes Lili Nakai for Vancouver up to the 30-yard line. Coming up on the SFL Championship halftime show, Tyler Falk and Mike St. Green give you their take on the game, what storylines and key players that have emerged, and the keys to what both the Legion and Aztecs need to do in the second half to become the champions. It's all coming up on the championship halftime report right here on VFN. Empty backfield here for Christian Brown. They're going to live and die by the pass mostly today. And so far they're dying by it. Ezekiel Bear goes in motion. He's been a little quiet so far, looking for his first target. 2-by-2 for Brown. Brown dropping to throw. All the linebackers drop in coverage. Christian Brown going to take off and run. Doesn't force anything and gets 5 yards.
I mean, you got to look at Sudduth did not help his quarterback in blocking. He ran away from the defender where he could have got a couple extra yards if he would have turned around and blocked that lane.
Good point by our statistician, Ron Haynes. Honus Adobe, 0 targets last game. He scores a touchdown in the championship game. You never know whose day it's going to be if in here in the biggest of moments and the brightest of lights as Ike McBride gets close to a first down. This will be the easiest third down to convert today, but Vancouver's still over in that category.
Yeah, and they have to put points on the board in this drive. They really do, because the way Mexico's starting to play here late in the half is, if they get the ball back, they could be potentially a 3-score deficit or more.
8 in the box for Mexico City with 2 deep. Actually 9 in the box with a single high. Itera's going to go out on Killian here. 3rd down and 1. They're going to toss it out to Mateo Pravado, who's only got 2 carries in the first half, but a big gain for Mateo around the end.
Yeah, and great blocking as well. Didn't get touched until he was past the first down marker.
I like that run there, mixing it up just a little bit. It's Brown with 12 yards, McBride with 16 yards, and now Pravado has 12 yards, and a very balanced Vancouver backfield. 1st down and 10, 3:23 to go in the first half. Vancouver down 11 against the defending champs, and Christian Brown goes down. That's Dan Tritz coming in and making the sack, loss of 6 yards.
His first sack in the playoffs, 7 all year, and man, that was a big one. Slowing down this offense of Vancouver was starting to fire up, and Tritz just poured some water on it.
And all the sacks that we've seen so far in this game, I believe, have been on 1st down, and they're really killing drives. I don't think anybody's been able to get out of a drive that had a sack in it. 2nd and 16.
I'm thinking they're going to pass here.
Yeah, empty 5 wide. Sudduth goes in motion.
Unless he does a sneak.
On 2nd and 16, that would truly be epic.
You never know.
Sudduth goes back down on the line. This is Christian Brown looking for someone to get open, and McLaughlin had it and could not hang on. Merrick Itera in coverage. You said it earlier, Charles. It hit you in the hands in the championship. You got to catch it.
Yeah, you got to catch it. 3rd and 16. This is, their routes go past 16 yards, so I think they're running the right plays on this, but you just got to bring it in, hold on to it.
Both teams 1 of 4 on 3rd down in the first half. 3rd and long. Dime look for Mexico City. Nick Lockett's going to go in motion. Brown escapes to his right. Running out of time, and it's caught by Lockett. BK was also wide open. Lockett's got a 1st down. Suron Yates was barreling down on Christian Brown, but he got rid of it just in time.
Brown is a master of taking a couple steps and adding time to his play. But like you said, I think BK was more open than Lockett was.
Oh, he just at the last second kind of broke away.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a huge play, Ken. That was probably one of the biggest plays for Vancouver so far this first half. They needed that bad.
Yeah, they didn't have much momentum on their side. They got it now, 14-3. Just before the 2-minute warning, Brown going to change the plays. It looks like Max Jackson may be coming off that end again. Here he comes, and Christian Brown's going to take off and run and get out of it. A pickup of just 4 yards. We've hit the 2-minute warning.
That was a smart play by Brown. I mean, it wasn't, didn't get a ton of yards, but, you got out of a 2nd and long, 3rd and long, just that extra 2 yards, I think is going to be pivotal in a game like this.
Ike McBride, Ray Colston, Ron Haynes in our stats truck. Charles Doherty sitting right beside me here at VFN Studios. I'm Cameron Irvine. This is the 24th SFL Championship game. We're having a lot of fun right now, but Vancouver would be having a little more fun if they got some points on the board. Toss out to Ike McBride, who's going to drag Max Jackson to the 12.
That was great blocking on the edge, and from that point forward, it was a power game led by Ike McBride. Just lowered the shoulders, as we said before. Just loves to put a hit on the defender and powered through.
First down and 10 at the 13-yard line. 1:38 to go in the first half. Vancouver down 11. Here comes Christian Brown. Sack. John Fowler again. A first down sack for a loss of 6 yards.
It's just a delayed read sack. I mean, just stood back there in the middle waiting for maybe a pass or an interception in the middle. Saw the opening in the gap and just blasted through there, showing his speed and able to disrupt the play.
Mexico City throwing some wrinkles at Vancouver's offense. John Fowler and Dan Tritz in the regular season had a combined 1.5 sacks. They have 2 in the first half, 1 each. Second and 16. 1:05 left. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Brown again with pressure on the edge. Throws where the blitz came from. Finds Killian, picks up 6. Timeout Vancouver.
That was a wild play. It didn't look like it was executed the way they wanted it to from the beginning. It just didn't look like it flowed correctly. I mean, everything from the having to turn his body against the route and make that play, a great catch by BK. But man, that was not their favorite play of the night.
2-by-2 here for Brown. 3rd and long. That pass is caught, but it is short of the sticks. That is caught by Nakai. I believe the Aztecs are going to be the ones taking that timeout. We'll have to see on a pause here, but it looks like Vancouver's going to have to settle for another field goal.
Well, at this point in the game, I think at least 3 would be okay. Not great, obviously, but that was not great doing a route that was short of the sticks.
Chance to Win's kick. He almost missed that. What is going on with Chance to Win today? 12 plays, 63-yard, 4-minute drive. Another solid drive for Vancouver, but they just have not found the end zone.
Yeah, and that was another nail-biter kick by Chance. This time it went the right way, but man, I don't know if it's the wind. I don't know what's going on down there.
Shout-outs to someone that probably was not on anyone's bingo card of getting a shout-out in the championship game. To A.B. Manson, who is sending me direct messages about trying to get the mod to work. I'm calling a championship game right now, but I'll help you after the game. But hey, man, thanks for watching.
So is that how you get shout-outs by Cam? Is when he's busy, you just start?
I don't know.
That's not the right message you want to send.
You know what, Charles? I think you should be the guinea pig for that and try a whole bunch of times when you know I'm busy in the future and see what happens.
Okay, my DM is League Ops. If you have any questions, any time of the night.
Any time of the night. All my notifications are off. Ray Bentley takes that carry. It is one time. Vancouver took that timeout, so Mexico City does have all 3 timeouts. I don't think we're going to see him use them here.
Yeah, and so far Sipe is, not the completion percentage we're used to seeing Sipe do, but he's been holding his own, making great reads. He's got like 110 QBR right now. He's having a solid game.
25 seconds to go in the first half, considering as they toss it out to Bentley. Bentley breaks through a tackle and gets a few more. Considering that Christian Brown has thrown 2 interceptions, that Chance to Win has missed a field goal, that Mexico City almost basically got gifted a touchdown, right, on a bad defensive play call, to only be down 8 at the half, pretty okay for Vancouver, all things considered.
And we've seen some, for both of these teams, we've seen some pretty,
that was close.
We've seen some pretty good half production from them. So this, buckle up for the second half. This could be a wild one.
This will be some fascinating halftime adjustments coming up. Mike and Tyler coming up in just a minute. But right now, it's Mexico City 14 and Vancouver 6 at the break. Charles, your first half thoughts?
I mean, Sipe's been, for the most part, been playing like we expected. Brown, you could even say Brown as well. His numbers in the playoffs pretty much the same, around 50% completion, couple interceptions, just short on the touchdowns. And the defenses for both sides are digging their heels in when they need to. And as I said at the start of the game, all-star offensive lines are showing why they are, and they're just doing a great job of run blocking and pass blocking. It's exciting, and like I said, both of these teams have shown a lot of fire in the second half, and I'm not expecting anything less than that. So like I said, buckle up. Max
Jackson, 9 tackles in the first half, a sack and a pick. The Hall of Famer showing why he is trying to get his second ever championship. We'll take a halftime break presented by Breaks GPT and send it to Tyler Falk and Mike St. Green after these messages.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
And welcome into the SFL Championship halftime show. Tyler Falk, Mike St. Green here in studio. Welcome back from a 14-6 season 24 championship game with the defending champion Mexico City Aztecs over their first appearance, Vancouver Legion. Mike, we've got a lot to break down quickly before we shoot it back to Baltimore for the second half, but as much as we were saying it was going to be a tight ball game, it has remained a tight ball game. These defenses really playing up to the potential.
Yeah, I predicted an offensive game. You predicted a defensive struggle, and that's pretty much where we are. We pretty much did think both defenses would step up in some capacity, and man, it seemed like the score should be higher. You know, Vancouver seemed to move the ball pretty well up until third down. They've not had much success on third down. Same goes to Mexico City. And right now it's anybody's ball game, only an 8-point spread, and Vancouver should probably be feeling pretty good about it after the couple of turnovers and the missed field goal.
Yeah, a lot of passes have been broken up either just by deflections or hits as the ball is arriving. We've seen a couple picks from Mexico City. You know, Jack Russell stopping a crucial 3rd and 2 from a QB sneak. How rare is that we've seen this season? And then, of course, we have going off on a tear, Max Jackson, the strong safety for Mexico City, a pick, a sack, just doing it all and leading the charge from the front like the Hall of Famer is meant to do. For those that are unaccustomed to Mexico City or their uniforms, that gold on their helmet means that they are a Hall of Famer, and he's showing us why. And so the secondary playing a key role in for both these teams. And now this storyline comes into fruition a little bit. Honest Adobe, only 2 catches in the postseason, gets a big time touchdown to put Mexico City up 14-6. Vancouver just a little bit of miscommunication in the secondary, but it's these little mistakes here, Mike, that have made the difference here. That's a crucial storyline going forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Honus Adobe, as you mentioned, hadn't done much all season. And you asked me in the pregame what team, what receiving core would probably have an unknown or lesser known come up and make a play. And Adobe definitely did that in the first half. And man, it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments are made coming into the second half, Tyler, because I would like to see more of a running game from Vancouver, even though they've been somewhat effective finding Brett Killian, but he's pretty much the only thing that's they pretty much had going on a regular basis. My main question right now is, where is Mateo Pavado?
That's a good point. We've only seen Bravado very seldomly. He's got 2 carries for just about 12 yards on the ground today. We haven't really seen Suda Nakai in his final SFL game, or the other fullback on the other side of the football, Buford Van Dam, has really been non-existent. But Mexico City, of course, find themselves in the lead. But you mentioned adjustments, and as before we send it back out to Cam and Charles, it's time for those adjustments. And for Vancouver, this similar, if Tuwin had made that field goal, the game would have almost felt very eerily similar to the game against Washington. And in that game, Vancouver did find themselves ahead of Washington going into the half. Now the script has been flipped. Now they find themselves behind. What has to happen for Vancouver to rekindle that fire that they had against their division rivals in Washington, to take back momentum, to get the offense rolling, to get touchdowns rather than field goal opportunities? And for Mexico City, what has to be done to make sure Vancouver don't sneak in through a very, very tightly closed door?
And then one thing I was thinking about, to win missed field goal. That's what Vancouver have historically in the years past, and way back when, before contract kickers and things like that. They've always had a trouble with the kicking game. I was kind of thought about that. It brought that to mind when that kick was missed. But man, what's going to have to happen in the second half? What adjustments need to be made? Since Vancouver's behind, let's start with them. Passing game seems to be effective when, obviously, they had a couple of interceptions, but maybe stick with the passing game. It seems to be working, but they're going to have to protect Christian Brown a little bit more. And I know he's known for running the ball a little bit. He has 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. Maybe when he gets a little heat on him, he did do that a little bit more late in the second quarter. Just take off running with it instead of forcing it into a situation where you get a couple of picks. As I mentioned, I would like to see a more of a running game, but to be honest with you, when both teams have seemed to run the ball, they have not been really effective on either side. Mexico City, on the other hand, I don't know if you need to adjust too much. The defense is playing well. They're playing pretty solidly. Defensive line is getting after it. We saw a sack from Max Jackson out of, on a blitz from the secondary as well. They seem to be covering the receivers, other than Brett Killian. Hey, that's a Hall of Famer and the second all-time leading receiver in SFL history. You're not going to cover him too greatly for an entire game. But now that they do have a lead, let's see more of Ray Bentley. Let's see if they can get their running game going and effectively maybe try to run some clock and finish those drives with some points and obviously continue to hold the lead. And they'll be hosting a second championship trophy in as many seasons.
And so it comes down to 2 more quarters in regulation to go between Mexico City and Vancouver in this international title fight. Will the Aztecs, who have the largest of 1-score leads, come home with their second straight ship and 3rd in franchise history, or will Vancouver come from behind to grab their first? We send you back to Baltimore, Maryland, and to Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty for the call. You've been watching the SFL Halftime Report.
And welcome back to Zolnir Championship Field in Baltimore, Maryland. Thanks, fellas, for an excellent halftime report. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, Ike McBride, Rochelle Colston, and Ron Haynes in our stats truck, and we are underway here in the second half as the tension mounts. Jacob Morrison returns it up to the 27. A lot of times, Charles, the first half is just a lot of fun for everybody participating in the game, especially if it's your first. The second half, the nerves, the anxiety, the heart rate, that's when it starts bubbling over.
And you start looking on the field to see if the teams are making the right adjustments that they need to make. We're kind of talking about this at halftime. I don't think we ever see a ton of adjustments from a Vancouver side. They just put their foot to the metal and go all the way. Maybe we'll see some on the defensive side, but I'm curious to see what Mexico has to do or does if they need to do any at all.
First and 10 of the 27. They'll toss it out to Bentley, and Bentley only able to pick up 1 yard. Crashing downhill to make that play was Drew Hamilton.
Yeah, tough scenario here for Vancouver would be if Mexico City puts more points up. I mean, they really they kind of started to get a little bit of a stride there in the first half, but by a couple of mistakes, they lost it. They really need to get their footing back and take command of this game.
Roll out from sight to the right. It is caught. Noe Terraces, his first catch since the goal line blunder. 1st and 10.
Yeah, he's been quiet since that play, but I think he's got it out of his head. And
good double move.
Good double move is right on the defender. Was able to get some separation on that little shake and get a first down and keep the chains going.
14-6, Mexico City. 9:08 to go in the third quarter. Toss out to Bentley, and
Nice
Bentley
tackle.
can't get away. Mark Lopez initially made the hit.
Yeah, Mark Lopez and Blackman was just sitting in the right place and was able to turn around and react quickly. And we don't see that a ton of times. Was able to turn around and impact that play.
2nd down and 10. Coming up for Jordan Sipe and the Aztecs. Dumas goes in motion. Sipe to throw. Sipe down the field, incomplete. Now it's quickly 3rd down and 10. Mexico City was 1 of 5 on 3rd downs in the first half.
So one of the adjustments we see from on Vancouver defense is their coverage, especially on zone. It seems like they're able to put the coverage in the blind side. You start seeing a lot of interceptions in the second half by the Vancouver defense. Let's see if we see it tonight.
3rd and 10. Sipe down the middle. Incomplete. Bartley had it. What a hit from Drew Hamilton. Probably the hardest hit of the game. 4th down.
That was one where you got spit coming out of your mouth and your mouthpiece goes flying into the stands when you're hit that hard. Holy smokes. I thought he had it.
That's a great visual, Charles. And one thing that Vancouver's defense can hang their hat on is they are winning the time of possession battle. Mexico City's going to get off the field on just their 31st play, but Vancouver's had the ball for 43 plays, and they're about to go on potentially another long drive. Mexico City's defense could get tired here in the second half.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're getting a lot of opportunities, and you got to give credit to the defense. There's a couple muffs, though, in the first half, but for the most part, the defense has been doing pretty solid.
Vancouver's dominating the stats, except the 2 interceptions and that missed field goal, and that's really been the difference. Killian goes into the backfield, 245 to 115 in total yards. This is Brown going back to throw. He shovels it to Brett Killian, who gets the first down. Are you kidding me?
Amazing. That is the Elon Musk of the league at work there with that little shovel pass, lining him up in the backfield and getting that completion for a first down.
It takes me back to the Season 5 championship game when DC shoveled the ball to keep a drive alive late in the fourth quarter. It was the stuff of legends, and DC ended up winning that game over these Mexico City Aztecs. Then the Santa Fe Gorillas, 31-30. That pass is caught by BK12 down to the 35, and his targets continue to rack up.
Yeah, and he just hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, you're throwing it to him. It's like money. I mean, he's been thrown to a lot tonight. We were saying that he's been targeted as much as the entire Mexico City receiving core. He's got 12 tonight. He's caught it 9 times. So that's pretty good. 75% is pretty good for the completion percentage.
Max Jackson was closing in there on BK12, but now he's got 112 to his name. First down and 10 at the 36-yard line. Brown dropping back to throw. Just got rid of it, but the pass falls well short of the intended receiver, Itera, in coverage.
Yeah, well done by Itera to break that up. And the good news for Vancouver was it fell on the ground because there were a bunch of Mexico City defenders, en route to pick that up and maybe put some points on the board.
7.5 to go in the third quarter. Vancouver down 8 on the move. Brown to his left. Throws it, and it hit Nakai in the back, it looked like. 3rd down and 10, not looking for the football.
Yeah, it didn't look like she was turned around. I think that was the first rollout we've seen tonight for Vancouver, maybe the second, I don't know. But, wow, that's was not a well-executed play. It was, I guess, primarily on the receiver's part. She should have had her face to the quarterback, able to pull that in.
Another 3rd down and 10, 3rd down and long in this game. They have not been very successful, except for that 1 3rd and 16 that Vancouver converted late in the second quarter that got him 3 points. Killian goes in motion against the dime. This is Brown rolling to his left. Fires, caught by BK12 down to the 44-yard line of Mexico City.
And he's close to putting on a show here. Everything is thrown at him, he's bringing in, and it's great. Hats off to the coaching staff as well. I mean, they're running the routes that BK does best. Also throwing in a little wrinkles there with like that shuffle pass we saw. Make use of your best players, especially in the championship.
Killian's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best receivers ever to play the game, and he's stepping up in the biggest of moments. You like to see that out of the game plan. Brown dropping to throw, fires over the middle. Ike McBride, stiff arm and the catch on Jeffrey Daggs. Too small kid down to the 27.
Yeah, I thought that was BK for a moment, and then that brutal stiff arm. I'm like, wait a minute, double take. That's got to be Ike McBride.
McBride just running a little slant and tells Jeffrey to go to bed. Jeffrey Daggs and Mike Daggs are down in Mexico.
That's
watching the game with the co-owner of the team, Ramos Lynn. Those two have become best of friends, and we love to see
That's
that.
An amazing story. That's awesome.
And so shout out to Mike, Ramos, Jeffrey, and everyone else that is watching in Mexico. So far, so good for the Aztecs, but they're only up 8 and Vancouver is driving 14-6, 6:16 to go in the third quarter. Killian goes in motion once again, down to 2 on the play clock. This is Brown. Brown escaping to his left and then turned around and got a face full of Ron Yates, the fourth. Back in the championship game, a championship veteran with the Baltimore Vultures gets the takedown.
And that's a nightmare for Brown. He took a step, came back the other way, thinking he had some time, and Yates was just smiling ear to ear, knowing he had some quarterback for dinner.
That was a heavy hit, and for Ron Yates, he's 7th all-time in sacks. That's his 97th career sack. Yates is chasing Christopher Colon, who is still active but has 98 career sacks. This is Brown firing over the middle of the field, and Max Jackson almost had another, and now it's 3rd down and 18. I want to go back to the sack real quick. Another first down sack. We've seen it all day long.
I know, and Jackson's all over the place tonight. Whether it's off the line for run coverage, he's blitzing, he's disrupting those deep routes. He's just all over the place.
Vancouver's got to think long game here. They can't take a sack. I don't think they're going to kick from 52. Chance to win missed from 47 earlier in the game. So 3rd down and 18. Vancouver trying to end the drive with points. Mexico City trying to stand tall. 4-man rush. Brown scrambles around the pocket. That pass is incomplete. Looking for Nakai again on 3rd down and long. Cannot come with it. Lely's having a tough game. 4th and 18. I think you got a punt.
Yeah, I think you do. The good news is I was expecting them to go all deep, but there was one checkoff route in the 8-yard range. I think it would have been wiser to just kind of dump that off and play for maybe a field goal on this point.
Chance to win. Shanks it off the side of his foot. Is Vancouver going to get not too much of a bounce either? It's not even going to roll inside the 20-yard line. That was a punt of 14 yards. And that's to win doing the punting duties as well. He is having an uncharacteristic poor game.
That's not the chance to win we normally see on the field. I mean, something's got to be found out what's impacting him, because this could be crucial by late game.
You feel bad for him. 7th season in Vancouver, 8th season overall in the SFL, and who knows, maybe he'll end up being the difference in the end if Vancouver can trim into this lead. It didn't happen on that last drive. Intercepted back at the 30-yard line. Emmanuel Blackman takes it away on the very next play, and Vancouver is right back to where to win punted the football.
And that's where you say the cornerback cut the route off on that one, just took a couple steps back in zone coverage, saw where it was going to, put up his mitts, and the next thing you know, he's got the ball and given another opportunity for the Vancouver offense.
Chance to win, reminding us he did get a tackle, though.
He did get a tackle, so yeah.
That was
maybe
big.
That could have hurt him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know what, you don't want your kickers involved in stuff like that. It can do a number on him. 1st and 10 at the Aztec 23 off the Blackman interception. Incredible pick by Blackman. That is his 43rd of his career. And the first turnover of the day for Mexico City. Here comes Yates on a blitz, but that pass quick to Sudduth, his 3rd catch.
Smart. You're in trouble. I think that was Yates barreling down on Brown. You just dump it off to your tight end. I mean, that was picture perfect.
Nakai 2 for 8 for 27 yards. Sudduth now 3 for 4 for 24, but he did drop one early in the game. He's caught 3 since. Lockett 3 of 5 for 59. And BK 10 of 13 for 130 so far. 2nd and 5, toss out to Ike. Ike gets rid of one and then is brought down.
That was close. I don't think she got it.
Yeah, I don't either, Charles. Yolia on the tackle.
Yeah, I don't know if you throw a flag on this one, but yeah, I think that was a generous spot.
It doesn't look like we're going to get the call. Mexico City may be holding on to it for late in the game, just in case.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Brown throwing into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. BK12. Brett Killian on his horse. 14-12. It's a 2-point game.
Wow. Hall of Fame catch there in the end zone. Unbelievable. And Brown just threw it on a laser right over the hands of the defender. Oh, and he got level too. It's amazing he was able to hold on to that.
By 2 different defenders, and he still caught it. Are they going to go for 2 here? Yes.
They should.
You think Brown will sneak it?
Yeah, it could smell like, I don't think. No, it's going to be fullback run.
They got a lot of players in the box. 14-12 for the tie. Brown handoff to Ike McBride. Didn't get it. And Vancouver still trails, but it's just a 2-point game. 14-12 with 4:27 to go in the third.
Yeah, that was, you can't argue the fact that you're giving the ball to Ike McBride up the middle. I mean, it just was well played by Mexico City. I mean, you're going up against the defending champions.
Yeah, I don't think you can hate that play call at all. Of course, hindsight's 2020. You say, "Oh, did we throw it right?" But I mean, at the end of the day, McBride's got to pick up 2. She came up just a little short.
I honestly don't think Vancouver has a ton of plays in that situation of the part of the field.
Yeah, that's not the strength of their offense, certainly. All right, so 14-12. Mexico City is up by 2. Shout out to Ike McBride, Rochelle Colston, Ron Haynes, and our stat truck. Shout out to Mike O'Neill, who at the start of the season helped us completely rebuild our roster file. He's also been working with some developers on a widescreen patch so that we can zoom the camera out a little bit more starting next season, and we're dialing that stuff in. He also contributed to our pregame with all of the a couple keys to watch here in tonight's game. So,
and he can sing too, and he has wonderful hair.
He certainly does. Both of those things. Bentley
Nice
picks up 3. Ron Hoff on the tackle, been a little quiet, but Hoff gets into the game, 2nd and 7.
So when you toss it to me, do you get worried what's going to come out of his mouth?
I get excited. It's exhilarating.
That was kind of scary the way you reacted to that.
Woo, it's a rush. I stopped talking and I think, oh boy, here we go. What's he going to do? 2nd and 7. Sight back to pass.
Oh.
He's got Bartley who breaks a tackle, and then his tackle, they're going to give him forward progress. Heck of an effort play by Bobo Caudell, who already has a sack today. This is going to be interesting.
I mean, how did Bobo Caudell get out there so quickly? I said 350. He's actually 340, but he covered a lot of ground there to be there to catch the wide receiver on the edge.
And on second look, it did look like the defender kind of pushed him backwards, so forward progress would move the ball up. I think that's a good call at the end of the day. Jordan Sipe will throw again. This one is incomplete. He had Noe Terrasas wide open over the middle, just missed him.
Yeah, I think that that mixed stunt that they ran there by Vancouver kind of maybe threw him off a little bit because his passing lanes probably weren't very clear where he was standing.
Here's an updated look at the team stats here. 320 to 129. Mexico City has 5 first downs in this game, but they lead by 2. 3:32 to go in the third quarter. Sipe under center. Gonna throw. Jordan Sipe to his left. Fires. Intercepted! Blackman again! His second takeaway in the biggest of moments.
That was great positioning by Blackman just at the last second. I did not think that was going to be an interception. I don't know how he grabbed it. He just positioned himself, showed some physicality, bringing that ball in and powering it. Look at
wow. The hand fighting.
And he didn't get a penalty. I mean, because he just knew not to overstretch his arms. He just put him out there like he was going to grab a baby, got the baby in his hands, and ran out of the nursery. I don't know where I was.
Excitement.
See?
Excitement. 1st and 10 at the Mexico City 44-yard line. Vancouver now in position to take the lead. This pass is picked off. And going back the other way, that is Liam Ryan all the way down to the Vancouver 42-yard line. 3:19 to go in the third. I thought I was going to get a classic Charles outburst in my ear.
That was amazing. I was waiting. I'm just kind of waiting for the next big play, but that was a huge one right there by Mexico City. That's what they needed. It looks like they were a little bit on the ropes, and man, I tell you what, Liam Ryan did exactly what all the fans of Mexico City were waiting for, a big turnover.
I think Matt Wilson was the same way. The emotional turmoil that a game takes on a broadcaster, sometimes we all need a little cool down moment. We can't have back-to-back picks like that. That's insane. Liam Ryan with the interception, and Mexico City's right back in business to the 42-yard line. That's the 5th pick combined in this game. 1st and 10 to the 42. Sipe dropping a throw. That pass is caught by Terrasas. There's an injury. It is Blackman who is down.
No way.
For Vancouver, who's been playing so outstanding.
Well, it's time for Lister to step up. I mean, Lister is a solid replacement coming on the field. I mean, he's been playing nickel all season, and I think he can shine tonight if this is an injury that's going to last the rest of the game. I hope it's not, But, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep with Lister out there.
We'll check at the end of the third quarter what's going on with Emmanuel Blackman. That could be a key difference in this game. 14-12, 3:16 left in the third. I formation here, and the middle is left open. Bill Henry goes in motion. There's Lister here on the bottom of your screen who moved inward after that formation shift, and Jordan Sype takes advantage
Just right up the middle.
Of the middle there for a first down.
Just get behind your center, get behind Foundy, and, just lead the way, and you're going to get a first down.
3 minutes left in the third quarter. It's getting real now. A tight one, a defensive one, 14-12.
Never would have guessed it.
Man, 2:50 to go in the third quarter. They're hitting hard out there. Hand out to Bentley, and Papatonis blew it up in the backfield, and Farnsey cleans up the mess.
Yeah, he held it. Showed the strength of Papatonis just holding the guard or the tackle there in place, and the running back as well, giving Farnsey time to close it down and shut it down.
2.5 to go in the third. At the 32-yard line of Vancouver, Sype fires middle. Oh my God! Almost came down with one of the most improbable picks ever.
He was spinning the ball on his finger. I mean, just like, holy smokes! Grab the bloody ball!
Wow! Off his helmet, and it really did look like he was spinning it.
I was waiting for some Globetrotter music in the background.
Third down and 12. Wow, is that? Oh, that's actually pretty good. 118 is the heart rate of Mike Daggs as we have a heart rate update. 1 of 6 on third down for Mexico City in this game. It'd be a 49-yard field goal from here. Jordan Sype's pass caught by Adobe, wide open to the Vancouver 13-yard line.
You can't leave a wide receiver that wide open. There was pressure by the defense, but man, I could have been another missed coverage tonight, but wow, it looked like they made a bad read. The safety went down. It looked like on a medium route to the outside and left the wide receiver to get into that seam.
Jordan Sype just 9 of 21. His last 10 passes, 4 for 10 for 2 picks for 56 yards. Not the best, but that one was wide open. This is, again, there's Michael Lister knocking it away in place of Blackman as, again, an incompletion falls to the ground for Jordan Sype.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do, and this stepping up in a championship game when his buddy's down for an injury. And I know the Vancouver coaching staff has confidence in Lister, and he's showing it.
Under 2 to play in the third. Lister at the bottom of the screen, matched up against the oversized Noe Terrasis. This is Sype looking that direction. The pass is picked off by Lister, and coming over to help was Drew Hamilton. Third down.
Yeah, that was throw. I mean, they're picking on Lister, but Lister so far is standing his ground. You can't ask for better coverage from Lister.
You love the storylines. Charles Blackman gets hurt. Michael Lister playing that nickel all season. You haven't really heard much from him. Lister's career, 207 tackles. I mean, 15 picks. I mean, he's had a great career. But man, oh man, he's been put in a big spot. Third down and 10. A field goal or a touchdown for the Aztecs. Maybe a flag up and got away. Sype into the end zone.
I'm going to have a heart.
Charles is inconsolable.
My gosh.
Fourth down for Mexico City.
How the heck did Jordan Sype survive that onslaught? Holy
How did Vancouver
mackerel.
survive Jordan Sype getting out of it? And
Was that Caudell?
I don't know.
Whoever it was, man, that was a beef truck that hit him, and
Yes,
he
it
still
was
got
Caudell.
up and threw it and almost had a touchdown.
Oh, he missed the kick. Oh, good. Unbelievable.
What are we seeing here? Kickers.
Chaz Blackwater pushes the field goal.
Gosh.
A 31-yard field goal for Blackwater. He had 1 miss all season.
Unbelievable.
And he shanked it.
Unbelievable.
Do we have a commercial break?
I don't know. Turn the fan up higher.
First and 10 of the 21. Christian Brown fires down the field. Caught by Nick Logan to the 35.
Sneaky wide receiver there, Cam. I'll let you catch a breath. He played for Mexico City. This is a big, big game for him. And he's one of those wide receivers late in the game. He's going to be able to find his way open and make you pay for it. We saw on that one. Got past the defense there and was able to get some separation, and we're looking at a first down.
Ike McBride makes a great point in the stat truck. The pressure of the game, right? I mean,
Right.
these kickers are feeling it right now, especially in a in a game where a field goal could win or lose the contest. This is Brown. Back to throw. That is Nick Lockett, incomplete. And I think what's on the mind of everyone at this very moment, Charles, is either of these teams going to score 24 points? It's happened 9 times in SFL championship history. It's possible. 14-12.
And the other thing I'm seeing in this game, Cam, is the refs are letting them play.
Yeah.
You know, they're having some big hits there in the secondary.
Physical game right now. 2nd down and 10 for Brown out of the empty. And Max Jackson's blitz is picked up. The
Unbelievable.
BK 12. That was a great blitz pickup on Jackson.
Oh, my God. I thought Brown was going to go into the dirt on that one. I can't believe he was still standing and able to complete that pass. Wasn't the most accurate pass of his tonight, but man, when you're throwing it to BK12, he's gonna bring it in. He's been showing that all night. What a game!
Leo on the tackle. Killian now 158 in his last 10 passes. Brown is 6 of 10, a touchdown and a pick for 87 yards. This is Brown back to throw into some traffic, and that one hauled in, this time by Lily Nakai, who's had a tough day at the office, but her 3rd catch gets a first down.
Well, here's the thing about Brown. I mean, he's still throwing to you. If he thinks you're open, he doesn't care if you drop the pass before. He's still going to throw it to you. And, in this instance, Nakai brought it in. She's dropped a couple tonight, but doesn't mean you're not going to go to her again. You got to be ready if you're playing with Christian Brown on your team.
Like that play design, double post,
Yep.
Breeze the free safety, and Christian Brown hit the right man. BK having a day. Brown is 23 of 40 for 314. Check that, 320 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Likely the final play of the 3rd quarter here as Brown drops to throw, fires into traffic.
Danger.
That was John Fowler on the deflection.
Oh, you cannot throw it in mid-range against this defense. They got that locked down.
That left side of the field has been treacherous,
That's right.
especially around 10 yards.
Treacherous is an even better word. I'm going to go with that.
You going to look that one up after that, right?
No.
You had to look
ad
up.
nauseum. It's going to take me longer.
2nd down and 10. Brown against pressure. Fires. Killian caught. First down to the 23-yard line. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll check on Killian's status here in a moment. You are watching the SFL's 24th championship game here on VFN. We'll let you take in a beautiful shot from Baltimore, and we will be right back. What a game. Stay tuned. It's a good one. You're looking at the aerial coverage brought to you by Dag's Drone Works of Baltimore, Maryland, as we welcome you back to Zolnir Championship Field. You might have heard Charles with the miming of the probable tag on Emmanuel Blackman, a hyperextended shoulder, but we might see him back here in the 4th quarter.
Ouch. Hyperextended shoulder. Man, that's got to hurt.
On that tackle that he made.
Yeah.
Here we go. 4th quarter. Get your 4s, and I got to say it, all the numbers. Here comes the Dags Drone Works blimp.
Blimp call.
Into the shadow as Ike McBride got away, made something out of nothing. I was going to say, if Brown's about to throw the ball, that blimp could cause some problems.
I think this one, it backfired on Mexico City. Way to go,
Look at
Dags.
Dags pulling up the blimp as Vancouver goes.
I want you to bring it in now.
Unbelievable. 9:40 to go in the 4th quarter. 14-12. Mexico City is up 2. Handoff to Ike McBride.
Ooh,
again.
That's a hit.
Now it's 3rd and 6.
Jeffrey Dags was like, I'm not taking this anymore. Just laid her out.
Ooh, 3rd and 6 for Vancouver. 3 of 8 on 3rd down, 1 of 2 in the second half. 9:10 to go. Brown back to pass across the field. Intercepted in the end zone. Gerard Brody. Unbelievable.
That was one-on-one coverage. The pass was intended for Nakai, and Brody just jumped ahead of that pass.
Oh.
Well, it didn't have to jump. It just went right into his hands. That was not I I couldn't say that was Nakai's fault, but the ball went right to the defender.
Man, you feel for Vancouver because that's just more points they've left off the board. They missed the 2-point try, missed the field goal, and missed an opportunity for at least 3 points in that situation.
They don't quit. They just keep firing, and the defense is. I think the defense, if Mexico keeps coming out here on this, it might get a little tired. So the offense for Vancouver is going to need to capitalize on these turnovers.
Ray Bentley picks up 7. That was his longest run of the day. You can see the total plays still heavily in favor of the Vancouver Legion, but they just have not been able to turn it into enough points. They trail by 2, 8:40 to go in the fourth quarter. That's the 4th pick for Brown. Adobe's the fullback in the backfield, and Jordan Sipes got the first down. Russell makes the tackle.
Smart play. Run Sipe up the middle. He's been doing that all season. Not a ton of times, but he's very effective running up the middle. And again, the offensive line was just able to create such a big hole for him to run up.
Woo. Wow. Let's look at the total game stats. 380 to 171, 24-7, 14-12 is the score. Sipes pass caught. That is the first catch and target for Jared Dumas.
He made it count. Had jumped up in the air for that one. That was all effort by Dumas on that one.
Check that third target for Dumas, and first reception. 23 receptions in the regular season, no receiving touchdowns. But here in the playoffs, Dumas has had 3 catches for 41 yards, has come up clutch. Just like on that play, Jacob Morrison takes the toss. That's just his second carry, picks up 4.
Yeah, he's money. 4 yards every time he gets the ball. I mean, give Bentley a breather and just hand it off to Morrison, and again, he's going to get 4 for you.
7.5 to play. This is Jason Bartley in motion. All the way across, looking at Lister, who's still in.
You've got to have somebody over that center.
That is Sipe, off target, incomplete. Did have a receiver crossing over. Has missed on some short crossers here today.
Yeah, I mean, the center is basically able to pick who he wants to lay out on those plays. They got to do some line shifting or something to disrupt the blocking coverage.
The least amount of points in a championship game in league history is 37. That was the 27-10 win for Atlanta, and we'll get to that more in a moment as Sipes passes. Caught by Bartley, one hand to the 30. First down, Mexico City, but it was done by Atlanta in a 27-10 win over Sioux Falls, and then Florida beat Canton 20-17 in season 22. So 37 is that number. We got 26 here right now.
And that was a great catch.
Wow.
That was a great catch. It looked like DJ Woods had a shot maybe to put his mitts on it, but man, great completion. That was huge at this point of the game.
And speaking of those outside linebackers, Marquise Reed, who had 4 sacks last week, has been pretty quiet in this one. Doesn't even have a tackle.
Yeah, not at all. It's been
under 7 to go. Sight back to pass. Fire sideline, almost picked by Michael Lister. Second down.
That was big. I mean, they've been picking on Lister all night, and so far he's been showing his worth.
This is just unbelievable. We've only had 6 points in the second half. It's like in basketball when there's a lid on the hoop. There's a dome over the end zone. The bubble.
Yeah, bubble, deflated ball.
2nd and 10. Sipe needs to get rid of it. Great pickup on the blitz. Henry down to the 1-yard line twice. The Mexico City offensive line covers for Sipe.
The coverage looked like it was pretty solid. Russell came over covering him. It's just the body positioning by Henry and such an accurate throw by Sipe to put it where only Henry could bring it in. Now they're looking at putting more points up on the board.
Jordan Sipe already with a rushing touchdown on 5 carries for 13 yards. He takes it himself and he scores. Mexico City now up 8. An extra point will make it 9, and Vancouver's starting to get their back against the wall.
I mean, who would have thunk that Jordan Sipe would be leading touchdown rush of the game? He's got 2, right? This is the second one?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Unreal, and 1 passing touchdown to go along with it as well. He's had balance in the passing game. Terras's 58, Henry 46, Adobe 44, Bartley 33. This game is not over by any stretch, but Mexico City has built the largest advantage that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, 9 points is tough. 6 minutes left. They got to. I'm thinking they need to get a very quick score, and they need to disrupt it on defense and get the ball back for Vancouver.
But if anybody can do it, it's Vancouver.
They're built. They've got the offensive playbook to do it. It's just they got to execute.
Christian Brown, 43 pass attempts today. Lili Nakai takes it up to the 23-yard line. Man, Mexico City, the grit, the toughness of a defending champ. They're trying to win their fourth in team history. They won it all in, check that, they're third in team history. They won it all in season 9. They won it all last season. They have been through some adversity. Just 8-4 this season. Barely won the South. Basically backed into it, but they have turned it on in the playoffs. Vancouver trying to pull trying to avoid the upset. Jack Stad has got him 4.5, but John Fowler's got the run stopped for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things at this point of the game for Vancouver is wide receivers not named Killian need to step up. They need to grab it, and they need to do everything they can to keep the defense from cutting off their routes and getting interceptions.
10 catches on 21 targets for anyone not named Brett Killian for Vancouver as Yolia makes the stop. I'm a little surprised that Vancouver went back-to-back runs there. Now this is a big 3rd and 6.
The clock is ticking away. It's not Vancouver's friend. They got to move down that field quickly.
Expect no huddle under 5 if they're still on the field. Otherwise, they'll punt. 3rd down and 6. Pressure incomplete. Brett Killian was double covered, and they brought Liam Ryan off the corner. Charles, a nice little adjustment shift there for Mexico City's defense, and I think Vancouver's going to have to play some defense.
Yep, they're going to have to play some defense, and not the best play calling, I think, for this point of the game. They hadn't shown run much this game, and to come out here, where you need to put 9 points up to tie it, having a couple runs back to back, I don't know if that was the best decision.
Punt is away to the 34-yard line as the Legion now needs something out of their defense. That's Hamilton on the tackle, 5:15 remaining. First down to the 41-yard line.
Here we go. It's disruption time for Vancouver. I mean, they've got Mexico City is built for this type of situation they're in. They've got some studs in the backfield. Their offensive line, great blocking. They can eat up the clock.
That is the first Vancouver drive today that ended in 3 plays and a punt. Hadn't done that all day.
Yeah, that's a wild stat.
Since Vancouver's touchdown drive, they have thrown a pick, and then punted on that 3 and out. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Bartley goes in motion. 5:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Vancouver needs something huge out of their defense. Emmanuel Blackman is still out. Lister has played phenomenal in his place. Jack Russell tackles Ray Bentley after a gain of 3 yards. 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, only 3 yards there, but I don't think Mexico hates that. The clock is ticking. Just keep handing it off to Morrison and obviously Bentley.
13th carry for Bentley. Only 29 yards today, but they've been some big yards. This is Sipe on a pass. It is incomplete. He almost got sacked and then almost threw a pick. Hamilton in coverage. That was intended for Terrasas.
Yeah, their backs were to the ball. I mean, if they were turned the other way, we could have looked at maybe a pick 6, but that was good defense. Heart
rate of Mike Daggs is now 121. It was 118 earlier, so it's gone up a little bit despite the 9-point lead. 3rd down and 7, 4:51 to go in the 4th quarter. Trips off the right side for Sipin. Dime look for Vancouver. Rolling out to his left. He's going to throw it, and it's caught by Bartley. West Championships MVP makes an incredible play to keep the chains moving.
A huge play. All the time in the world for Sipe. Good route run as well, and just one-armed it. And the defender was just a half a step behind. Hamilton had a bead and just didn't get there fast enough.
13 of 31 for Sipe, but it's been more about the passes that he has completed than it has been about the passes that he has not. 4:23 to go in the 4th quarter. More motion here out of the offense. Handoff on a draw. Morrison, Farnsey all over that, but the key issue right now for Vancouver is the clock.
Yeah, definitely. And they're getting in they're already in the danger zone. I mean, just a couple more yards, they're in field goal range, and they're just playing right into Mexico City's hands.
Yeah, you don't want to have to get 2 touchdowns. You want to at least be able to get 1 field goal and a score down late in this situation. Vancouver played much better than they did against the Aztecs in Week 12 when they lost 30-10, but things are starting to get away from them as the defending champs are trying to go back-to-back for the first time in franchise history, win their 12th playoff game in 24 tries. This is Sipe over the middle to Henry. Caught. Dangerous pass. 3rd and 6, but the clock will keep running.
Yeah, Henry's been very reliable tonight, and especially in a situation like that when you got pressure and he's someone to dump off to, you know he's going to bring it in. Didn't get the first down, but just kept the clock rolling, and I think that's what they need to do and want to do at this point.
3:15 left. 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Mexico City is 4 for 10 on these downs, but 2 for 2 in the 4th quarter. They are still just outside of field goal range. This is it for the Legion. 3 minutes left. Sipe to throw. Sipe fires middle. Caught by Terrasas. Down to the 16-yard line. 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions in the 4th, and Mexico City keeps the drive alive. The Legion fans that made the trip are distraught.
Yeah, they're in the money zone right now. I mean, they threw it well within the range of the field goal kicker. They can just run off the clock and put some points up, and potentially looking at a championship.
Here's the thing, though. Jordan Sipe has, and we've seen this a lot with Mexico City's playoff games, they trust him late in games. They don't really like to run the clock out. They will continue to throw the football, and so Vancouver still continues to have a chance here, but this might be the final play of the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line for Mexico City. This is Sipe dropping back to pass again. It hits Henry over the middle for a 9-yard pickup, and the offense right now is clicking like clockwork.
I mean, like you said, they definitely trust Sipe, and they trust that offensive line, and they trust Henry to be a great route runner and be just where his quarterback needs him when he needs to dump it off.
2 minutes to go. Can Mexico City hold on, or will Vancouver come up with a miracle finish? We find out here in the conclusion of Season 24 of the Simulation Football League on VFN, alongside Ike McBride, Rochelle Colston, Ron Haynes, Charles Doherty. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a game this has been. Still technically the lowest scoring championship game in history, but Mexico City's knocking on the door of points. Vancouver needs a stop. Lister's still in the game. We have not seen Blackman return. I formation, Sipe gonna throw, and Sipe is in trouble, goes down for a sack at the 19-yard line, 3rd down and 11. And listen, the way the kickers have been picking the football, that's a big sack.
I know what you're gonna. I think the same way. I mean, they have not been doing stellar kicking tonight, and that was potentially a huge sack there.
Now back at the 16 to be a 33-yard field goal. Missed a 31-yard field goal earlier in this game. Let's see if Mexico City tries to sling the rock. Nope, they'll hand it off and play it safe. Try to get their kicker some more room. Vancouver will have 1 timeout left at their disposal, and this game is not over. They're going to get the ball back.
Yep, we're looking at some pretty amazing miracle plays, though, I think, from this point forward. And again, the Blackwater making this one is going to make it difficult.
Man, another 30-yard plus chipper here. The wind blowing left to right a lot today, and Blackwater sticks it right down the middle. 1:47 left, 24-12. Mexico City has the advantage, and guess what, Charles? That's a 10th team that could potentially have scored 24 points in a championship game. How does it keep happening?
That's amazing. Unbelievable. I mean, this game has been crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm going to be, exhausted at the end of this. And I'm not even playing.
Here we go. 1:47 to go in the 4th. Nakai on the return. Only up to the 21-yard line. So it's up to Christian Brown, who today has been a little shaky. 24 of 44, but 325 yards. 1 touchdown and 4 picks. 3 different receivers have a catch of over 20 yards. So we know Vancouver's got it. They have 1 timeout. They'll use it on their next play. It's a tackle in the field of play. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. Bear goes in motion. Still without a catch today. Had a great story about, getting taken by Vancouver in the draft after Mexico City passed on him. That pass is caught by Lili Nakai. That is Vancouver's final timeout. They need a touchdown, an onside kick, and a score.
Definitely. Again, this is going to be the odds. I mean, we all know it's going to be miracle land if they're able to do all this. They have the ability to do it. They have the players to do it, but they have to be perfect.
At the 35-yard line, no huddle goes pretty quick. Spikes will happen inside a minute. 24-12. Brown to throw. Fires it over the middle, caught by Nakai. An 11-yard pickup, beautiful catch to the 46-yard line. Here we go, no huddle, 1.5 to go. How many plays can Vancouver get inside or outside of a minute to go? They just run a little underneath route to lock it. That's not going to do it.
Not at all.
27-47, 362 for Brown. Got to push the action. Christian Brown back to pass. Caught by Killian. Down to 1:10 to go with the Mexico City 35-yard line.
You don't want to stop play. Keep going, keep going. They got the right setup in here.
Brown inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Now you might see this first spike. They mark it at the 21. Under a minute to play. Brown going to throw for it. Brown fires incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 54 seconds left. They still got a chance.
They still have a chance. And now, but Mexico City has a chance to catch their breath and settle in. I mean, they are monsters at this. The defense is they're monsters at this part of the field. And the closer that what concerns me from a Vancouver standpoint, the closer they get to the end zone, their routes aren't conducive to this type of that part of the field.
Yeah, they'd like to get a score on the next couple of plays, avoid being down to the 5 or the 4-yard line. Brown fires over the middle of the field, caught by John Michael Sutton, gets down to the 7. Got to hurry. 406 passing yards for Brown in the championship game. 43 seconds, 42 seconds. They'll likely spike, and they do with 41 seconds left. So 7 yards away. Vancouver's got time.
Quick score. You got to get a quick score.
They need a quick score, onside recovery, but they'll need another touchdown.
Yep. A quick score and a miracle.
Wow, Vancouver not letting the game die here, nor did we expect them to. An 11-3 season, one of the best seasons in franchise history in their first championship appearance. Trying to make something happen down here in an area of the field where they have struggled. Brown into the end zone, quickly, touchdown! It's Nakai, 24-18, 39 seconds left. They need an onside kick.
Yeah, just straight down the field, got rid of the ball quickly before Nakai could get into coverage. Smart play. 39 seconds is a ton of time. They need to have perfection here on this onside kick.
Jordan Sight brings up a great point. Could we get an onside kick touchdown by Bartley in back-to-back championships? He is the king of onside kick return recoveries, as to wins extra point is good.
Yeah, that was drifting right a little bit. Holy smokes.
Well, this is it. It's not going to be the lowest scoring championship game, but it has been one of the most exciting. 24-19. Got to watch for Bartley here at the 45-yard line. Can Vancouver recover the onside kick? Down 5, they need this. It's a hopper, and it is too early. They'll get one more chance.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'd be curious to see who they have on the field for Vancouver. I mean, in these part of the game, you got to have your all-stars on the field. The ones with the best hands, the strongest, the fastest. You don't want to scrub out there on this onside kick.
Here we go. Can Vancouver pull it off? Onside kick from chance to win is over to Bartley. He fields it. Oh, no! And Bartley is going to do it again.
Oh, my gosh.
He is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Oh, my gosh.
And that's a wrap.
That is a good way to wrap it up, Mexico City.
And it just over pursued.
Yeah.
And you've got, who is that out there? That is Jacob Mungro, the backup running back, and he just was not in a great position to make any kind of play.
Well, I mean, you kicked it right to him, too. I mean, regardless, if they tackled him, it wouldn't have been good either way. So, I mean, you know what I mean? They needed to have a better kick.
Yeah, that's not what Mexico City wanted, and Vancouver will likely, although it's still not entirely over just yet, kick return, big throw down the field, who knows. But, yeah, Mexico City, once again, in back-to-back championships, recovers an onside kick and returns it for a touchdown. Unbelievable performance all around, 31-19. And Vancouver's got another crack at it. That is Lockett to the 26, 30 seconds left. If they go empty again, I don't know that that's a very methodical, no huddle offense, but it's not anything that was really pushing the ball down the field that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have like some very poor coverage on the Mexico City side.
Like an all blitz.
Yeah, like an all blitz.
That would even things up for sure.
And how far is the hospital from here?
30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. 4 wide here with a back. And Brown is looking down the field to Killian, but really good coverage from Itera and company for Mexico City. They were not going to let that go.
Yeah, I would. I'd have 3 down linemen and everyone else deep.
How about the rookie? How about Jared Dumas getting drafted by Mexico City and potentially winning a championship in his first season? Saron Yates back into the ring category. Chance Wall potentially with his first ring as well. A couple of rookies on the line. Undrafted as Lockett makes the catch. 22 seconds left. Lockett's had a decent day. Time is running out.
Yeah, and it's got to hurt him going up against his former team. But he's played well when they've targeted him.
Let's talk about Vancouver. A phenomenal season. They finally made it past that second round, right? The second game of the playoffs. They finally got over the hump with a brilliant win over Washington on the road. They played much better this time around against Mexico City, and that just shows just how great their staff and players are.
The coaching staff is smart as well, and I think they know what they need to do in the offseason, what kind of adjustments they need, what kind of personnel they need to bring in. But yeah, I could see them deep again in the playoffs.
We'll get a Hail Mary here, likely from Christian Brown, talking things over with Leo Chang. The Mexico City Aztecs, they are 3 seconds away from becoming the first back-to-back champion since, the first 2 seasons of everything. Florida, season 21, season 22. Baltimore, season 20 and season 19. This pass is incomplete. The Zeros are on the clock, and they're celebrating south of the border because the Mexico City Aztecs have won 31-19 in the season 24 championship game. Charles, your thoughts and players of the game.
Wow. I mean, I would give out two if I could. The first one would be for the offensive line for Mexico City. And then the second one would be for Sipe. I mean, his numbers don't necessarily jump out at you, but he was steady. He was consistent. He had two rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. So, I mean, he put the points up. He did what he needed to do. He put the offense on his back against a very stout Vancouver defense, the best defense in the league. They were able to put up 31 points.
Mexico City scores 21 of their 31 points off of 4 Vancouver turnovers. Vancouver only 6 points off of Mexico City's 2 turnovers. That's the name of the game. 479 yards of offense to 284 advantage of Vancouver. Vancouver had 30 first downs in the game, and they just could not come away with enough points down in the red zone. 5 trips into the red zone, just 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Christian Brown's final numbers, 33 of 59 for 436 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. As we scroll through the rest of them, Charles, your final thoughts on a brilliant championship game by both squads.
I mean, hats off to both of these teams. They put in the effort. The coaching staff for both of these are just phenomenal. Congratulations to Mexico City, Dags and Ramos, and the rest of the Mexico City team. I mean, clear reason why y'all are champions. You put the effort in. It shows on the field, and off the field as well. The bottom line is, the team that makes more mistakes in a championship game rarely wins the game. So it's comes down to that. And execution, I think that Mexico City had their number tonight. And congratulations.
Final score, Mexico City 31, Vancouver 19. The Mexico City Aztecs are your season 24 champions. We'll send it over to Tyler Falk and Mike St. Green momentarily for their final thoughts to put a cap on season 24 for all of our game championship game crew tonight. I'm Cameron Irvine. Good night. We'll see you for post game here in just a moment.
If it happens once, they could say, oh, it's a potential fluke. We got lucky. But when it happens to be 2, it starts to become a habit. The Mexico City Aztecs win back-to-back chips in season 23 and now take down Vancouver to win their third in franchise history. As we welcome into SFL Studios here on VFN, I'm Tyler Falk. He's Mike St. Green. Los Aztecas, Mike St. Green, take down the Legion 31-19.
Yeah, congratulations goes out to Mexico City on a second consecutive championship, Tyler, and they did it in fantastic fashion on the defensive side of the ball. They played excellent, 4 turnovers, with 21 points off of those turnovers by the offense, and none bigger than the one in the end zone by Gerard Brody to pretty much quench any chance and opportunity for Vancouver to take the lead at that particular time, and that play was huge. And I'm gonna tell you how good Mexico City is, Tyler, in the real life league. I think they're predicted to win a championship in the NFL somewhere in about 2070. I think I've seen that graphic, so that's how good this Mexico City team is. So congrats to them, man, on the second title, third overall. Great job by them and everyone over there. Mike Daggs, Ramos Lynn, great job by you guys.
They do say that pressure makes diamonds, and I think the pressure made another champion. And speaking of pressure, how about the blitzing on first down, the chaos that it created for Christian Brown in that Vancouver offense multiple times. Even if they were not getting a sack, it threw the whole momentum of Vancouver's offensive game plan out of sync.
It really did, Tyler, and we saw and heard from guys that we haven't really seen do a whole lot, this season leading up to this game. Sirron Yates, he obviously he came over, via Indianapolis, via Baltimore, and man, congratulations to him as well. His 6th championship for him individually. But yeah, we saw him with a sack. We saw Dan Tritz with a big sack, and as you mentioned, they kept Christian Brown. They kept his feet moving, even though he had over 400 plus yards passing. They kept him on his toes and feet moving in that pocket where he never was really comfortable throughout this entire game.
And I think when we go back and just take a look at a franchise as a whole, and we tip our cap to the Vancouver Legion, literally tipping my flat cap here. But the big thing is it's their first time in this scenario. What a season for Vancouver. What a story. The ability to come in and take down the upstart Washington tried it in the semifinal, just could not have enough momentum to get it done here. But when you look at Mexico City, their third championship win, I believe in 4 tries, if I remember everything correctly. But the biggest thing coming out of this is they have the pedigree and experience. Crucially, those two things in tandem. While Vancouver has the experience in the league, Mexico City has the experience in the championship game. It showed. They were just one step ahead of the Legion, it seemed, in all facets of today's game. Tip of the cap again to Ramos, Mike, and the rest of the Aztec crew. Mike, just walk me through what it goes through from an organizational standpoint to be this effective and this accomplished in this league.
Mexico City, they obviously they've been around a long time. The staff has been in place for a long time, and I've seen how they've done things over the past years and past seasons. They're very consistent in how they go about handling things. They really don't have a lot of what do you want to say, flashy type players, but they have very good players. They middle of the road players, but with a little flash in there, sprinkled in, and with Ray Bentley, Jeffrey Daggs on the defensive side. They have their stars, and they picked up a Max Jackson in the offseason to help out in that secondary. But mostly, you're going to see just steady Eddie type players that come in, make plays. Keep the team is very balanced on both sides of the ball, and in the past couple of seasons, it's paid off for them, and greatly. Obviously, finishing with the championships.
And so the curtain comes down on season 24. The 25th anniversary season is just a few months away. We get everything going July 10th through the 13th in Baltimore, Maryland, right here where this championship game was played to kick off the 25th anniversary season of the SFL. Hope to see all of you there. Stay tuned for more SFL off-season news and the All-Star game and so much more coming down the pipe. Thank you for joining us for another spectacular season of the SFL. We hope to see you again soon. And for Mike St. Green, Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, Mike O'Neill, Ashley Jackson, Ike McBride, Ron Haynes, Rochelle Colston, and the entirety of the SFL, thank you for joining us. Good night. Drive home safely. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Take care. We'll see you next time.